Welcome back to another episode of Can Blue, a hockey podcast covering the New York Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens. I'm your host, Ben, on the Rangers side.
I'm Brendan covering the Canadians. And as you can see, yeah, we are on a Google call because I'm very sick. I've been very sick for the past week, just like how the Canadians have been playing.
Sick, yeah, they make you sick to your stomach as a
Sick to the
fan.
stomach. Not a good kind of sick.
I think this is a good test run for us. There's going to be times where we can't meet in person, so we'll see how this audio quality comes through and how the visuals also come through on the YouTube side. But I also needed to rush this episode because big things happening in Ranger World. As I
News
said on
that
the
we've been
last
waiting for a
two,
month.
yes, as we said on the last two podcasts, uh, waiting for this JT Miller trade to actually drop and happen. Sure enough, Friday night, another big Friday night trade similar to the Rantanen and Natchez trade. We have the JT Miller to the Rangers. Rangers also acquire, I think his name's Eric Brandstrom and Jackson Dorrington, two guys who are Dorrington's more of an AHLer. Brandstrom is in the AHL right now for the Rangers, but has played meaningful NHL minutes in the past. And the Rangers pass along Philip Hedl and Victor Mancini, who we talked about a little bit beginning of the year this year, and a first round pick. The key with the first round pick, I'll kind of work backwards on who we've given up. Key with the first round pick is it's top 13 protected. So in the event that the Rangers miss the playoffs and miss by a pretty decent margin, they will get to keep that top 13 pick if it shakes out that way.
Mm.
And if they keep it, it becomes a first round pick in the next season. Uh, the Canucks have actually already traded that pick to the Penguins. So now the Penguins hold it. And that was in exchange for Marcus Pettersson. So now, funny enough, the Canucks have
Three
three Pedersons on their
Pedersons.
team.
Is
But
there one left?
one left, what, in the
Like a
league somewhere else?
Pedersen, yeah, another
I
Pedersen
don't think
somewhere.
so, but maybe. But so just, I thought that was a good deal of business because, there is a good chance we miss the playoffs this year. And there's a good chance that if it's not going well, they end up selling at the deadline. I know they're still right there, but it is a possibility. So if they do that, and they end up with a potential lottery pick, or lottery in the forms of top half of the first round, it's good that they get to keep, like, hang on to it. Um, as far as Victor Mancini goes, I thought he showed a lot of promise in the first kind of part of the season where we had some defensive struggles, and he came in, he played physical, he's got on the score sheet a couple times. This is a guy who's kind of been, I think he's been jumping around to different leagues. Like he was in the Swedish league, even though he's not Swedish, just to probably like restart his career or try to get
Wait, how old
it
is he?
back on track. He is young, but I think what happened was he either wasn't getting time, so he went over there, or he I know he had some concussion issues, so he maybe was just playing through it, trying to get some more experience, and then the Rangers got him in, and he was kind of a surprise early in the season to be on the team, but they liked what they saw with him for the short period of time, and then when the Rangers got healthy on defense, they sent him back down to the AHL, and I guess that span was enough to really be enough to send him over to Vancouver in this trade. So I don't know. No love lost for me. It's kind of like would have been cool to see him do well, but I'm not super attached with Tim,
You
you
did
know?
really want JT,
Yeah,
also.
JT was he was I mean, we've been talking for how many now? It's for me it seems like 3 or 4 years. The Rangers need people that are hard to play against and that are tough, mean guys like a Kachuk, and I feel like that's what you're getting in JT Miller in the return. So, 100-point guy, hard to play against, crashes the net, even if he's a little fiery and rubs people the wrong way sometimes. That's kind of what the Rangers need, I think.
Right.
Like a total identity shift. More on JT Miller later, but I just want to finish off with Philip Hedl. Loved him. I think most fans loved him on our team. He couldn't stay healthy very long. He almost every season he'd get hit or he'd do something with his whatever lower body and would get out of the lineup. The big issue was his concussions for him, and it's kind of known around the Ranger fandom that it's he's kind of one big hit away from potentially having a career-ending injury just because it's been so bad, and it hasn't really Philip Heel has talked about it with reporters before, just saying, like, "It's more than just concussions. I'm dealing with a lot of different things right now," like, back when he was still injured. So it's interesting to see that, you know, what will come out of that in the future maybe, but for now, I saw he scored in his first game
Yeah, I saw that too.
with the Canucks, so, like, happy for him.
Pretty sweet.
It's kinda similar to Kako where a little bit of a depressed asset than what we thought we were getting. Kako, obviously, number 2 pick, uh, thought he would be more of a game breaker, didn't end up being that way. Now
High
he's in
expectations for sure.
Yeah, now he's in the Kraken, and he's doing better, at least this year, than he was on the Rangers, so good for him. And for Hedel, I just want what's best for him, kind of. Like, he's not I mean, he is a guy that I was attached to, but it listen, you got rid of a depressed asset for a top tier center,
Yeah.
eh, th because, like, they needed something back and they weren't, it was a little bit of a sweetener maybe, and I'm sure the Canucks will love him if he stays healthy, but, the Rangers had all the cards, yeah, in this one because Miller controlled where he went. He wanted to go to the Rangers. He's actually, like, best buddies with Vincent Trocheck. They grew up together. They played hockey together. There's a picture going around of them as youth hockey players on the same team, like, going out on the ice. So that
You
was
always love to
cool.
hear those duos come
Yeah,
together.
totally. And I think JT Miller actually moved into Trocheck's house, like, without even asking. Like, he just, like, went over, he's
Nice.
like, "Hey, buddy, I'm moving in," and, I think what has come out is Drury, went to Trocheck, which is another indication that he's gonna be captain next year, but went to him and was like, "Hey, we're gonna make a real push for this guy, like, what do you think?" And Trocheck's like, "That's my best friend, so yeah, please get him." So it's kinda like a dream come true for them. I think what that also does, like, having someone that JT Miller can lean on, but also, like, maybe is in the same mindset and maybe can hold each other accountable. Maybe, like, I
Yep.
see that as being
It's
good
good
down the line,
chemistry.
and, like, it's good chemistry, but it's also like JT Miller has this, bad connotation around him that he's this bad guy that could be an
No,
asshole.
he just has a certain mindset and attitude. Uh,
Yeah, well, I
that
mean, it's
may
that
be a little contrary to what most,
but either
cool-headed
way, right?
NHL
Like, there's
players
been a
have.
couple teams now that have, he's moved on from that maybe it seemed like he wasn't the best locker room guy. I don't think that is quite indicative of, like, the player that he
Well,
is,
why
because I
did
think
you
a lot of
guys
guys
trade
love
him in the
him.
first place? Do you remember?
I think it was I'm pretty sure he left the Rangers in, like, 2018. This is part of our, like, rebuild. So it was probably just, like, selling a guy high where we weren't really in the
He wasn't that 100-point scorer yet, too. I
No,
think
no, no, he
he
wasn't. He
was.
he evolved into that. He went to the Lightning. We got I honestly forget who we got back for that. Might have been, like, Hayek or something. And then, and then he went to Canucks and he found his home, but, now he's back. Seems revitalized, re-energized, and having someone like Trocheck who's his friend, I think that they can, like, bounce off each other and really be the 1-2 center punch that, the Rangers need and probably could have used in the last 3 years when they were going on these long playoff runs. Um,
And well, he did hit the ground running.
exactly, he did, and we'll talk about that in his first 2 games against the Bruins and against the Golden Knights. He's been already kind of a game breaker that we've been needing, and with him coming in, we have Zibanejad move to the wing on the top line, which is an interesting, development for sure. And I think, like, I keep seeing all the signs are pointing to the Rangers trying to move Zibanejad in the offseason, which I think a lot of Rangers fans would agree with at this point. It's kind of like, what are you going to, I guess, where are you going to get him to waive his no move to go to?
Right.
And what are you going to get back, if anything? You might have to, like,
Has he
pay someone to
himself
take
said
him.
anything? Like, does he
No,
want to stay?
no, it's just an
Does
indication.
he
Like,
want to
we
go?
listen,
Like,
well, okay, so, like,
what does
think
he even
about, like,
say?
we just brought in he doesn't really talk about it. He's gonna say that he wants to
Right.
stay, but we just brought in his replacement, basically. They're, like, the same age, they make about the same amount of money. I don't and they're playing him on the center. I mean, sorry, they're playing Zibanejad on the wing now. They're
Oh,
not moving him to third line center. It's not like "Oh, now we have a stacked center lineup. We'll pay 2 guys 8,000,000 and 1 guy 6,000,000." It's kinda like, Zibanejad, this is your replacement. Maybe you can figure it out on the wing, but realistically, some team will probably need you or want you as their one or two center, and like we're probably going to make that happen in the offseason. So that's what I'm
Hmm.
watching. That's what I'm looking for. That'll be later down the line. I mean, there's a whole. This felt like a trade deadline, like getting up to the Four Nations break. It feels like a lot of teams are making
Yeah.
moves,
Well, I
and
think
it's
you
not
guys are
even.
done. Like, right? I think you guys are
No,
done for the
no,
time.
I disagree. I think there will be more moves the Rangers make. I think they
Really?
need to. Yeah. Well, so think about this, right? Lindgren is absolutely gonna be gone this offseason. If they can trade for him for any value before he walks, they should do it, even if it's like a second round pick. And I think teams might take it, even though I sent you a graphic today. He's like the worst high
He's the
danger
worst one, but we saw two
against.
other Canadians in that
Yeah, we
list.
did. What was it?
Yeah.
Savard and Matheson.
Savard and
Yeah.
Matheson, yeah.
So
Well, I'll put up the graphic. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
there's that. I do think they're gonna move on from him. If they don't, then they think there's no market for him and they'll just let him walk, I guess. But then they need a third line center. Like if all moves are we're getting rid of Zibanejad. Right now we have Brodzinski as our third line center. Unless they think someone internally, which we do not have a great internal center depth. We have a lot of wings that maybe we could
yeah.
move them to center. You think about Othman or Perot or even like Berard or Bo Gru or Grohl or whatever, some guy we got.
Bo.
Uh, Unproven prospects that maybe that's what you want in your third line center, but none of them are really natural center. So you'd think if there's someone out there to be had with term, they're not going to go for rentals, I don't think. And if they keep losing, they will eventually start selling some of these pieces earlier. Like I think Miller is Keandre Miller, that is, could be on the chopping block. Um, he's been better with Borgen, and I think they would, if he plays well, they definitely want to keep him. But it's kind of hasn't been that way recently. So things are starting to form.
So a
And
couple more trades.
yeah, I think a couple more, definitely. What's going on in the Canadians world?
Well, we've we've been losing. That's
Yeah.
what. And recently, a big injury came up on the Winnipeg game from this week. The 4-1 loss, and yeah, Caden Gooley got pretty nasty cut, it seems, and supposedly it was like on his quadricep or something. He had to do surgery right away. So like he was moved out the Bell Center and
Jeez.
right into surgery. So we don't know the timeline on that.
Mhm,
Uh but supposedly it's like almost season ending. It's going to
mhm,
take at least a couple months, I think, in my opinion, for him to be like fully 100%. Um, and from there, basically, our defense has been Swiss cheese. Like, I know one guy shouldn't like have a major impact, but Gooley was having a good year. And the next game we lose 4-0 to the Wild, and then we blow it with Anaheim. So it's and as we just mentioned, two of our guys was on that list of is it
mhm.
top defensemen that like give up high danger scoring chances
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like most high danger scoring chances by defenseman per 60 or
right.
something.
And
Yeah.
Savard and Matheson were unfortunately on the
Yeah.
top 10. So it's been a bit of a rough week to say the least, and I'm looking forward to see how we rally for the upcoming games, specifically in San Jose and LA. Usually, both teams beat us all the time. I can't even remember last time we we beat LA. I think like
Well, LA is good now, but what about San Jose?
dude, we always lose to San Jose. I don't know why, but it's one of those things. It's like also Carolina is one of those teams.
Well, yeah, they're
Um,
good. They've been good for like 10 years
no,
too.
but the Wild is also one of those teams. We haven't won against the Wild since like 2019. I'm pretty sure. Like
They also have been pretty good though.
no,
Like
but
regular
like you
season.
would expect the a win here and there. We just haven't won at all with
Yeah,
those
yeah.
teams. So yeah, a bit of a rough week, and it seems like the troops are a little deflated, a little, or they're a little exhausted from their stretch in
Yeah.
December and January. And I'm hoping that they do bounce back, I do have that hope. So I'm not like complete. Oh, it's all over. Let's just tanks back on. Although we're definitely more out of the wild card spot, I think we could still scrounge up a good run if we really really push it. It's that it needs to change now. Like within the next couple of weeks, it has to change right
I
now.
I feel the exact same way. We won one game this week out of the 3 games, but having 2 regulation losses, it's, like, not gonna cut it every
Yeah.
week, it's we have just under 30 games now, I think, to play left in the season, and, a much needed break is coming with the 4 nations, but it is, yeah, it's this is crunch time for sure.
Yep. Yep. It's
One
now or
more
never.
thing.
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
one more thing, I just want your thoughts on since we are both representing Canada and the US, right now. Have you seen some of the booing going on at
Yeah. Yeah. And what
the
the
different
Canadian
games?
Tires, like
Yeah,
Ottawa. Yeah, the booing. That's pretty funny. I mean, I
it's
get
not
it.
great. You know why, right?
I get it. And as we're talking now, the tariffs are called off for another month. But
Yes, yes,
yeah,
I heard that.
yeah.
I'm obviously want to be good neighbors with as representing the US here. Like,
Of
I want
course,
yes, I
we
think,
need
like,
each other.
I understand, yeah, and the US, like, I think has the leverage, so it really screws over the Canadians, not to get, like I'm not gonna get political here, but, like, it
Oh,
definitely
we're getting political.
no, no.
No, I'm kidding.
It definitely can I mean, they have the more powerful economy and pull, so it could screw over their economy massively if that, picks up again in a month or whenever it comes back on, so I get the frustration and booing, it's like, whatever, it happens, everyone's
Canadians
there
are
and trying to have a good time.
already going through enough in that space anyway. I think they things need to turn around for Canada in general. So
True,
I get why these booings would
but
happen.
do you think that adds a little bit of something to
Yeah,
the 4
definitely
Nations games?
for sure
Because
now.
like, when Canada plays US, I feel like it's gonna be raucous,
I
and it's gonna be in Montreal too.
actually, yeah. Now that you mention it, it makes me more excited because there is a little bit of drama there because of
Yeah.
political tensions.
I mean, you think about former games that have had political tensions that have, like, been crazy, like, obviously 1980 comes to
Yep,
mind. It's not
yep.
quite at that level, obviously, but it's just an interesting thing to, like, think about while watching
It
and, like,
it's an
maybe
added
these players don't
juice.
care, but the fans care, you know?
It's definitely an added juice,
Yeah,
and I think if the fans care, the players will care.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so I think we each had 3 games this week. I can start with my first game, and it'll be quick because the Rangers put up a goose egg against the
Well, Montreal
Met.
didn't even win once this week, and I said to you we should delay because I'm like, well, the Anaheim game is today. We should wait for a win, and that didn't happen. So
Was that last night?
that was Sunday.
Sunday,
Yeah.
well, I mean, Anaheim is also, like, kind of close to the wild
No,
card,
are
aren't
they?
they? I
No, that's
think
not
they
true.
are. Let me look
They're
it up.
bottom. Well,
Dude, I'm
Radko Gudis was on that list, by the way,
the
on that
captain.
the top 10 worst defensemen. He was on
That's the
that list.
captain, dude.
Yeah, but he sucks.
Alright, they're no, 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 never mind. They're 9 points out.
What are
They're
we?
not uh, you are 5 points out. Oh, wait, sorry, no, you're 6 points out, and the Rangers are 5 points out. I know, but we're, like, 6th and 7th in the wild card race. It's horrible.
It's
It's so
tough.
bad.
I don't know if
Yeah.
we're both making it, but
Yeah, honestly, it's every week, like, because we could go through this coming week and win 2 or 3 games, both of us, and then be like, "Oh, no, we're in it." It's
right,
just like
right.
every week it's live and die, and, we are running out of time, like you said, so if
And at this
the
point, we're
next 2
relying
weeks
on other wild card teams to
yeah,
lose,
you need the
specifically
Senators
the
to cool off, you need,
yeah
like, a lot of
Senators.
different things.
I don't like
Um,
how the Senators are good again. Like, oh my
yeah,
gosh,
but did you
it's
see also
crazy.
Columbus? They're ahead of us. Marchenko, I think, is out for the rest of the season.
Oh right,
Yeah,
or is it
and
a L?
Barzal.
Is it a LTIR move though?
I don't no, 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 I think he's, like he's actually hurt, not,
Like
like,
what
marked down.
happened?
I honestly don't. even remember. I just saw Marchenko out, and it was like Columbus takes another blow to their roster. Marchenko out indefinitely or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then on the Islanders, Barzal I think is going to be out for the season.
Really?
So dropping
Wow.
like flies on these bad teams.
Kirill got injured again. I don't know if we mentioned that last week.
Kaprizov.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kaprizov. Actually, I'm going to mention him later as well
Okay.
because we got a player that's going to be like him.
You always say that.
Yeah, but it's true this time.
Okay. Well, we'll see, I guess.
Let's go to your first game.
Yeah, my first game against the Hurricanes, 4-0 loss uh at home at the Garden, so that
Uh,
sucks.
did
And
Rantanen score?
no, he had a point though. I mean, every
Uh,
every guy that we play that just gets traded gets a point one way or another. Happened in the Avalanche, happened here. So honestly, like, not much of note, right? The Hurricanes are in our division. That's a game that we would like to win every single time, and that's a team that is, especially this was before the JT Miller trade, and they still are, but they are better than us, right? Like, they are better than the Rangers, they're better than the Hurricanes. Um, sorry, they're better than the Canadiens is what I meant.
yeah.
And we can't seem to beat them this year because they have that status. Now they have, Mikko Rantanen, star level player.
Is
He got an
Kochekov
assist.
the main guy for their starter?
Well, Freddie Anderson is back. So he
Oh,
had
okay.
actually a 22 save shutout this game. Um, and
Not a lot of action for him.
no, no. Well, what do you expect? Come
Wait,
on, it was before.
JT wasn't here yet though, right?
No, it was not here. It was not here.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So they were kind of still struggling, and Svechnikov has 2 goals, Aho has a goal, and Seth Jarvis have a goal. It's just like, you know, what more can you really say except, uh, you know, they're better than us, and you can't, like, you need to win games like that, but we didn't really even come close. That's that's the wrap
Yeah,
for that one.
I mean, kind of similar to what I'm gonna say about Winnipeg and the Wild. We actually scored first against the Winnipeg game. Slavkovsky scored, and um, another thing I mentioned before. It's like, okay, hoping you could build upon this or keep it, but Kyle Connor scores, and supposedly their record when Kyle Connor scores is like ridiculous. It's like I don't know, like 20-0-1 or something
Yeah.
when just one guy scores, like in general.
Well, he's the
And
play driver for them. He's like the nasty. He scores like 40 a year.
like yeah, Kyle Connor to me without the injuries, I think is the second or third best scorer in the league.
I think he could be the most underrated in the league,
Yeah, definitely the most underrated because
especially because he's out in Winnipeg.
he's out in Winnipeg. He's not flashy. You don't see him in the commercials. You see Matthews or Ovi in the
Yeah.
commercials. So yeah, he was totally killer to us. Him, Shifley, Ehlers, they're having just like a year. Josh Morrissey. So once they did score, couldn't stop them. They just kept it coming. We lost 4-1. They just were just simply better than us, and
Yeah. Well, they're like one of the best teams, if not the best in the league all year. So
we were. I mean, I was kind of hoping that we'd stay in it or at least keep it close because obviously it is a good indicator if we're ready for playoffs or
mm,
ready to continue toppling these big teams, especially a team like Winnipeg. But
yeah,
to no
not it.
avail. It was a bit of a rough one. I think Monty was in for this. Don't blame him whatsoever. They were just simply really good. Just really good team. They both
Hmm.
like their top line is I think the best top line in the league. They all got like plus 60 points at this point in time, which is insane. Yeah, you better watch out for Winnipeg because I think out of the Canadian teams, I think they would beat out Edmonton in the playoffs for sure.
Prove it though. Prove it.
Yeah,
Edmonton has done it. Winnipeg is not. That's all I'll say.
that's
Prove
true.
it.
That's true. But Edmonton previously couldn't do it until they did it, right?
True. True. I mean, if any Winnipeg team is going to do it, it's going to be this Winnipeg team. But it's just like They have
Who's the
not
coach
gotten
for that? Like I don't understand. Like what changed? Not much has changed in that core group.
in the last 2 years, they got rid of Wheeler,
Oh,
who's
Gabe
old. They added
Velarde. They
yeah,
got
they added a lot. Morrissey has really, like, stepped up. He's been awesome. Pionk is,
Pionk.
like,
Pionk.
they're solid, other top 4 guy. So, they're solid, man. Scheifele's a animal on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
Why?
Him and Evans were even having beef this time around, and just like so frustrating when you can't really do anything about it. Like, y-
Yeah,
y- it's just barking at this point. No, like
yeah.
that's it. Um, should I do also the next game because it also was not good. Yeah, I can
Uh,
quickly do it.
sure,
Like
sure.
the wild game, 4
Yeah.
nothing. We don't even score. So
Wow, just like the Rangers,
Marc Andre
4-0,
Fleury gets a standing ovation, because it's like his last year.
and it's his
Last time,
last game in Montreal.
last game in Montreal. But in my mind, I was thinking, well, what if we make the playoffs and like we fight each other? So
You'd have to meet in the Stanley Cup, though.
yeah, that's true.
That'd be a crazy Stanley Cup.
That'd be
The
wild,
Wild and the
right?
Canadiens. Yeah, I know, I was trying to not say that.
So, excuse me. Um, yeah, just absolutely no show here. Just no energy, no fight back, which is kind of crazy because the Wild played the next day and they absolutely got obliterated by the Sens, who's a wild card chasing team too.
Yeah.
They lost to them
Mhm.
6-0, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Can we not
Yeah.
at least put up a goal? Or Dovish was in net. He got his first official loss like in regulation.
Ah,
Um,
took him long enough.
took him long enough, but I mean it was inevitable, of course. But I mean, what else is there to say other than congrats to Fleury for getting a
Flower's a
final.
beast.
Flower is awesome. I do like him a lot. Even if he was on Pittsburgh at one point, you kind of forget that he was on Pittsburgh and he won what 2, 3 Stanley Cups with them.
I think he won 2, but I don't know if
Two.
he was like Murray was the star one year, and I don't
Yeah, and then they're like, we got this new
yeah.
guy. Well, it didn't work out for them, clearly.
Or was Murray the star both years? He might have, I feel like they split time.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, Murray did win a cup with them, right?
There's something about
He did like a little Bennington thing, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely at least for one of them. And then obviously the Flurry moment that I remember is being at your house watching, in
Oh
the
yeah, he was on
bubble.
Vegas.
Yeah, watching him, flub the puck behind the net. Remember that?
Yeah, and
In the
Josh
playoff game?
Anderson, this
Yeah.
this guy,
Josh
this guy on
Anderson.
my right behind me.
Oh, yeah.
He yeah picks up that lost puck from Fleury, and that was amazing.
Do you remember I was at your house for that?
Yeah, that was so insane because that sealed the series, I think, for us, because that tied the game and then we won in OT or something.
All I remember is you going like, "Oh, Stallsy, you're so bad." You,
Yeah,
hated Eric Stahl. I'm like, "Dude, he's a fossil, give him a break." He was
yeah. I
on that
mean,
team, right?
he had a couple key moments though.
Yeah.
I'll give him some props
Wait,
there.
also, was that the series or at least the, stretch where Petrie was on the team and he had, his
Yeah,
eyes were, bloodshot,
yeah. The
remember?
bloodshot
He
eye Petrie.
his eye, was fully red, and it was so intimidating.
He was hopped up on some
Yeah.
drugs there for sure, just to
Yeah.
numb because he had like a foot or hand injury, and
Yeah.
like a not a horrible one, but like decent one where you should be out of the game, but
Mm.
it's a Stanley Cup Finals. Like, he had to show up. I mean, I love Petrie. I just hate how it all ended with him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
And you have to mention that was the year that the Canadians stunned the Leafs.
yes, the best
Honestly, almost better than winning the cup.
comeback ever. Yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
the best
almost.
comeback, the best upset in decades, I think.
The best Steve Dangle reaction video.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
the
like
best one since when the Bruins came back and like won it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They've done that how many times? They did
I,
that last
and they're gonna do it again this year. I can't wait. Can't wait to see
people are
that.
talking about, Toronto, Ottawa Battle of Ontario playoff series and like who would win, and to me it's just like mid versus mid.
Y-
Like I don't
I'm
know.
thinking that too. I and
Like I
my
guess if you get like prime Allmark, maybe.
yeah, and I give the edge to Toronto there, even though I don't want to, because like
I would too, but then you just look at like history and you're like,
Ottawa in the playoffs though, like you
yeah,
don't even
it'd be
see
weird.
Ottawa in the playoffs.
I know, I know.
But at least they got something rolling there. We need to get to that level of rebuilding eventually. And
Took
again,
them long enough.
I'm not trying to
They
be
yeah.
pessimistic. Like we are still making our way up each year through this rebuild. I guess it did take them a while.
I feel like the last 2 or 3 years, everyone's like, "All right, Ottawa's making a push. Ottawa's making a push," and they got Giroux and they got all these other guys. They had Chychrun, they traded him away since, but like they tried getting to the playoffs and they kept missing, like being on the cusp, maybe like having a bad year for like who knows what reason, probably related to the rink. Having the ownership being in question and then getting a new rink. That has an effect on teams for sure. So I don't know. The Canadians aren't at
Norris
that
being
level yet.
out, right? Norris was
Yeah,
the yeah.
and then
And
like well, it was Pinto, right?
was it Pinto or Norris? I get
Both
them
of them were, like,
confused.
hurt and out, and then I thought it was Pinto that did the gambling thing, but whatever.
Either way,
Uh,
I mean those guys are pretty dang good to have in your depth.
yeah, yeah,
Like they got some good players there. I gotta admit.
definitely.
And we're not even mentioning Kachuk or Stutzla or Sanderson and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, that would be interesting. Obviously, I would be rooting for Ottawa there. But I don't.
I root for them to get each other banged up and then lose the next round.
I would love
But
to see
if the
how that.
Leafs lose, there's the discourse is funnier, for sure.
True, and I think after this year, if the Leafs do lose, someone of the big three is leaving.
Marner's gone already, I think.
You think?
I think Marner's out after this year.
Hmm.
Like, I just
Where would he go? Like, where would he best fit?
I you really think they're gonna get rid of Matthews or Nylander though? Unless
Yeah,
Nylander,
no.
like, forces his way out, I think Marner's the odd one.
Nylander's definitely like the best, most consistent player out of the top three there.
I guess how it depends how Berube sees it, but
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like Marner's having a great year, but I feel like
He
that's gonna
always
come to a
has a
head.
great year,
I
and
know.
then come
He's sick.
playoffs, it's like. So I'm excited to see that first round exit. Let's see who it
Yeah,
is though,
yeah, yeah,
because it could
agreed.
be I don't know. Maybe we play him somehow.
That'd be awesome.
I would hope.
I mean, I don't know. After that performance at the Bell Center, I wouldn't be too thrilled to play them. They have a little more grit now with the Berube style. They're never
There-
out of games.
there's a lot of lessons that we need to definitely
Yeah,
learn, and hopefully we can learn fast.
that's for sure. Okay, enough dilly dally. Let's get to my next game.
Yeah.
First game that JT Miller is a Ranger again. He actually has 2 goals in this game, and it must be a record. He uh, has a 3-game point streak with the Rangers that spans 7 years. So before he was
Whoa.
traded in 2018, he had a 2-game point streak. Then he was traded to the Lightning. Then he was traded to Vancouver. And his first game back, he scores 7 years later. So
That's really cool.
his point streak with the team, I mean, honestly, now it's 4 games, uh, is 4 games over like 2,055 days or something like that.
Wow.
So, like 7 years, just about.
Pretty interesting
Um,
stat.
it's a funny, like, means nothing stat, but I saw that and was like, "That's crazy."
Yeah,
And
that
and to
is.
have the game that he had against the Bruins, so the Rangers end up losing this one 6-3. Um, the Bruins, I mean, they're down. Rangers are down this whole game. It's like 2-1 in the first, then 4-1, and then uh, Miller and actually Johnny Brodzinski get on the board later. But the Bruins kind of have an answer for every goal that the Rangers had. Um, but the impact that you see that Miller makes on the team is immediate with his 2 goals. He looks like he's, one of the only ones like really playing his style, going out there, trying. And I don't know, to have 2 goals in your opening or in your return to the Rangers
That's pretty
and to
sweet. Who's
do
he
it like
playing with?
drive net. He's playing, yeah, so he's playing on the top line with Panarin and shifting Zibanejad to the right wing. And that's interesting because you have two centers that can take faceoffs. It looked like Zibanejad was taking a lot of faceoffs. But in the course of play, Miller would cycle to the center and then Zibanejad out to the wing. And I think it's honestly been working for Zibanejad. If I'm looking at the box score right now, this game he has an assist, and then in the next game, I think he had a goal and an assist. Let's see. He had a goal and two assists. So the wing narrative for Zibanejad might like might be the way for him at least going forward for the rest of the year until, like I said, they move him. Um, but the goals that Miller is scoring here, it's excuse me, it's right in front of the net, one timer off of a turnover, and then believe it's a power play goal. Just like immediately getting on the score sheet. It's awesome. It's you love to see it, and I can't say enough about it. Um, I do think that top line is a little overpowered, and I'd like to see like while we have Zibanejad, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little torn because
I think Laugh
Zibanejad.
should be playing with JT.
So I like that, but I
No.
also think Laugh and Trocheck have been playing so well together that
Mm.
I don't need to break them up. And then I think they had Trocheck, Smith, and Lafreniere. It's like I don't. It doesn't really do it for me. Like I'd have Cooley, Trocheck, and Lafreniere. Cooley's been playing really well still, but then you have your third lines like Kreider, Brodzinski, and Smith, and that really doesn't do it for me. They're kind of. I mean, Brodzinski's fast. The rest of them are kind of just old or hurt. It seems like so. It's going around,
Well,
and
why not
then
move Mika to with Trocheck if they're gonna play two centers on the line?
it's an interesting thought. It's just like, and then you have Lafreniere up,
Or you just keep Lafreniere with Trocheck. So it's Trocheck.
and then
Oh,
who's your
what?
right winger?
Right, he's on his off. Is Mika on his off wing or
I don't. I
no?
mean, he's been a center the whole time we've had him, so I have no idea.
Yeah, that's
He's a
true.
righty though, so.
Yeah, that's why he's playing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that
But
might be a little
I don't know.
tricky.
I think like this JT was traded like right before this game, so he got there. There wasn't much planning to what the lines should or would be um, before this because it happened like the day before, and rightfully they put JT right on the power play, and it was actually a little bit better than how it's been looking. And Kreider's been taken off, so I like seeing that, and I'm hoping with a couple days off now since the Vegas game they, you know, put some more thought into what the lines are going to be and what was working, what wasn't working. But I mean, you automatically see this injection of fire and kind of different style of play getting just right into the lineup. So love it. You lose to the Bruins, who aren't a game breaking team. You know, you get another chance of them this week, actually Wednesday. So I'm hoping with a full week separated, you have a better game plan against them because valuable points, like we said.
Yeah, I like those kind types of matchups where they're close to each other. Where you could, if you lose the first one, you maybe have a little more fire for the next one.
Yeah.
Is that the Garden or in Boston?
This Wednesday it's at the Garden,
Nice, nice.
MSG. Yep. Do you have one last game?
Yeah, so the Anaheim Canadians one, we're on a little road trip in Cali right now, and this one was the first one. We this is I'm gonna sound like a broken record again, but we were up 2-0. First goal we got on the shorty. Jake Evans pushes it out, catches the D man off, and then passes it to Yoel Armia for a nice wrister. So we're up one, and then we score on the power play. Christian Dvorak on his birthday. Funny
Evo.
enough, I can't believe he scored on his birthday. Insane. Um. So yeah, 2-0, but it seems like uh they don't. They only play 20 minutes. This team doesn't know
Yeah.
how to play the full 60 minutes. After when they're up, just because we were just blank for the second and third period. Anaheim slowly, actually not slowly, they scored one um, off a deflection from Killorn, who I don't know why, but he's been a Hab killer since Tampa.
Tampa. Yeah.
Um, and then 40 seconds later, they score again, so 2-2. And I believe that was Doc was caught out, wasn't manning his guy, and our D was just totally caught out for that second goal. But from there, just the effort was not at all like what the first period was, and that's a pattern we've seen in many games this season. They seem to break down defensively. Passes don't seem to click. They're not getting any chances later on, and two people's efforts were to be suddenly, you know, punished. Not suddenly, but during the third period, Line A and Doc were punished. Marty sat them. They were just not playing well at all. In an article I read, Marty mentioned that he expects bigger and better things with this group now because they saw that they could win
Yeah.
as they have. So it's not like last year. It's not like the beginning of the season. There's a degree of accountability that needs to be set in these guys, and you need to play their system to a T. What the current system they were doing. So supposedly Line, he was just terrible on the back check, and that led to like the third goal or something. And
Yeah.
was very lazy. Doc as well was lazy, and as I said for that second goal, they they got to be on top of it. If you want to win, you got to. I know, like, I mean, happens to the best of us, of course. When we're trying to do the nitty gritty hard work, it gets boring, but it's got to be done. It's got to be done, and I'm glad there's a degree of accountability. I do agree with the benching, uh, because I mean, obviously you don't want to hear that for subsequent games because that would be like, okay, well, is Line A good or other
Yeah.
XYZ a good fit for the team, Doc a good fit for the team. You don't want to hear that, but hopefully this does slap him in the face a little bit. You know, both Doc and Line A and other players as well that see it because it, as we mentioned, it's now in this stretch where well, another year without playoffs, so
Yeah.
it's
Honestly,
tough.
I kind
It's
of feel
tough.
the same about like Kreider and Zibanejad. Like their minutes have been diminished for sure, but they I feel like a clear benching hasn't really happened this year, and it probably should have.
I thought there was
So
a Mika
hopefully
benching. No.
there was a Mika like kind of like you're getting less time and you're going to be put on the third line for a little bit, but it was never a
Mm-hmm.
clear like you are not playing, and
Right.
I think it should have happened earlier in the season for sure. Um, is that is that it for your game?
Yeah, I mean, it's Anaheim. We it's sort of 50-50 with them, but we have had wins with them. I thought this would be an easy win considering
Yeah,
the teams we have beaten the past couple months. And it's just unfortunate to lose another lead again like that. And like
yeah.
they need to fix that. They need to fix that ASAP because you have a lead. There's no excuse. There's no
Mhm.
excuse.
Yep, I hear you. And it was a 2-goal lead, you said, right?
2 goals, yeah.
Or yeah, that's
And
tough.
learn how to play like like the additional 40 minutes once you. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
It's
You can't get a lead too early. See, I feel like if you had a lead or you got the lead in like the third, maybe it'd be better. But holding on, like you got to learn how to play with a lead. Really,
yeah,
that's
but
what it
why do
seems
we
like.
need that to win? See, that's the thing. Like
It's it's just like a mental thing sometimes. I don't know.
we go off the pedal a lot when we do have a lead up.
Yeah,
It's not a
we
good
play
thing.
different. Yeah,
Yeah, we play different. Um, yeah, I don't know what's gonna fix that. I think I trust Marty and what he's doing. I trust that the team does, like message received type of thing.
hmm
So hopefully they hold themselves accountable for the San Jose and LA game. If we win those, I think I'm like okay. I think we're back in it.
We're back.
We're back in
It's
the
so
wild card
over.
race.
It's so back. Yeah.
Because LA is a tough team. Like defensively, very hard to
Yeah, they're
score
solid.
against.
They're very solid.
So I'm excited to see that game. And San Jose to finally beat them, and obviously see the matchup with Hudson and Celebrini,
Hmm.
the rookie
Oh yeah.
matchup.
Nice. All right. So our last game of the week for the Rangers play the Golden Knights. I feel like a week or two ago, Rangers played the Golden Knights. I was all happy. It kind of came at the end of the week, I think, also. They beat them like 2-1, and it was kind of in the middle of their, all right, we're putting a couple games that we're winning together, and now we're like right on the edge of the wild card spot. And then shortly after that, loss, 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 loss.
Hmm.
So we're back after a couple of losses, and we end up winning this game against, one of the top teams in the league. So, maybe this is the JT Miller effect. Maybe this is we just have their number for some reason. I mean, we did have Jonathan Quick in tonight, and he did end up getting his 400th win, first
Nice.
American-born goalie to achieve that. So, uh,
Congrats to him.
I mean,
Crazy
took long
career
enough.
for him.
Yeah, true, but I mean, it took long enough. The whole month of January, we couldn't get him a win, and we've had the lead and
Right.
like
Yeah, it's so
would
true.
lose
It's
it.
so.
So
When you were playing us, you're like, oh, maybe we'll get the 400th
I
win.
know, didn't see it. So, you know, this is actually another key moment for the Rangers. This is their second comeback win of the season, which is
Nice.
which is bad. That's
It's
way
better
too
than
low.
the first one, or like only having one.
True, but I'm sure you have more. The Canadians have more than two.
I'm actually not. Oh
I
well, yeah,
bet, dude.
yeah,
There's
probably.
no way. Even one goal, like so. Rangers go down early. I think Eichel was like a maniac here. He had 2 goals. He might have had a couple assists too. They're down 1-0 in the first. Ends up being 2-1 end of the second, but Rangers are definitely looking better. You got Lafreniere gets on the score sheet. Miller has an assist. Panarin has a goal and 2 assists. Zibanejad has a goal and 2 assists. Keandre Miller has a wicked, like short side snipe top shelf. You see the net go up. Like
There you go.
we were kind of feasting. And it just, the boys were buzzing, and then the Rangers explode with 3 goals in the third period to like with all that uh to secure the lead, so or to secure the win and the 2 points. Um Funny thing from this, I'm not gonna get too deep into uh a lot of the plays. One of them was that Will Cooley hit. I don't know if you saw that. He
No,
laid out Alex Petrangelo, like fully clean,
nice.
but
Do not like
came
Petrangelo.
full speed, just wrecked him, like totally
He's a
wrecked him,
big
and it was
guy,
all over. I
Petrangelo.
mean,
Like it's not hard.
yes, yes.
It's not easy to knock him down.
Cooley is a hitter. One of the things I've seen from this game and from the previous game, Cooley and Miller play a very similar way. Obviously, Miller can't compare them completely because Miller's a 100-point guy, but they hit hard. And like if Cooley can channel or learn some things from Miller, be awesome because
Sure.
they are now. I mean, based on their years so far, they're both the top of the hitting. Like whatever they have the most hits for the Rangers, based on how they play and everything. So that's great. Love to see that. And I had one more thing. Forget what it was.
Any
Rangers
fights?
win. No, no, no fights that I can recall. Uh, the 2 points is obviously huge. Beating a good team is big. Having the team play. Oh, I remember now. The JT Miller got the third star. I think he had an assist on one of the power play goals, which power play is looking back, which is awesome.
Nice.
Um, But he looked pissed, like, he looked mad, actively mad. So, I don't think that's to say he's already
That's what you
disgruntled. I think it's
wanted.
just it's the
That's what you
competitor.
wanted.
It's the competitor. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
not happy with a win that's, like, a bad win or, like, a win that they could have done better at, and I think that's gonna do a lot for the team. I'm still really, really just, like, floored about it, like, loving it. So, that was pretty much the rain. This was, like, a fun, finally, like, good, dominant Ranger game, I feel like. And we got the win for Quickie. It's kind of an all around good feeling game. And now we have I think 3 games left until the
When does it start?
The 4 Nations.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
not
it's
next week,
the
is it?
15th.
Okay.
Maybe there's more.
I think it's 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks? All right, so maybe there's 6 games. But I know just looking at the schedule here, just getting into the future now, Rangers play the Bruins tomorrow. Friday they play the Penguins, so 2 winnable games. Then they play the Blue Jackets, who are hurt. 3 winnable games. Then you have Sabres, very winnable. Penguins again, very winnable. And Islanders, very winnable. Oh, wait, that's after. Shoot. Well, either way,
Wait.
that's your next like 5 or 6 games. They could definitely put together a little bit of a win streak here, and I'll knock on wood, but I think that's what they need, obviously, to make that run, to
Mm.
to get back into the spot, and they might now have one of the guys to do it in JT Miller. So I'm really
Well,
excited to watch the next couple games here.
what's crazy is that we have 4 games this week: Sharks, Kings, and then Devils and Lightning at
Mhm.
home. What's crazy is that there's like an 11-day gap between the last game Sunday and then our next game
Yeah, you know
February
why, right?
22. Well, yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's like
that's the break.
that's the break, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it does end
Just forgot
Monday,
how
February 9th.
jarring it is.
Yeah, but that's good. I think you need like players
No, we
need
need
that.
the
I know
break.
Kreider needs it.
We need
Yeah,
that break, yeah. I
a
would
lot of
like to
guys playing injured
see
right now.
us winning before the break. I'm hoping at least two of the four we win um this week.
I'm hoping a clean sweep. Bruins, Penguins, Blue Jackets. Let's go. Let's take it to them.
I'm not as confident as you because
Who do you play
we
though? The
lost pretty
Kings and
much
the
our
Lightning are tough.
we lost our
Devils are tough.
last 5. So like
Yeah.
I
uh,
yeah. So okay, win against Sharks, lose against Kings, win against the Devils, and maybe OT lost to Lightning. Yeah.
you beat them last time, didn't you? It was
We
a
beat them
big
last time.
Suzuki goal. So
Actually, I might reverse that. So we lose to Devils, win against Lightning.
there you
Um,
go.
but those guys are back to back Saturday and Sunday, so we have a busy week this week before the break.
All right. Well, good luck. Sorry we couldn't be in person again. We kind of both sound a little sniffly and sick, so this is a
Yeah, yeah, this is good. I've been sick for a
good
week, man.
compromise.
It's
Yeah.
not so. Yeah, I can't do anything social. I've been in my bubble.
The bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap.
Totally. Yeah. All right. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, send it along. Thank you to all our current listeners and subscribers and all those views and likes and everything. It makes us really happy. So we really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.
I'm
Yeah,
shaking Ben's
handshake.
hand.
Virtual.
Sweet.